Hey, what's up, everybody? Just hopefully a quick update here on Bitcoin. We can see very corrective. Very corrective. We can see right here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that a diagonal? A, B, C, right? I'm expecting the price to get back down in here and then hopefully get into a retracement. This is a big candle right here. We sliced right through all of this, right? So I want to see a retest somewhere up there, about 50% of that dump. So, we can come up and tag it like this, but I really think it needs to come down. Or at least hold some support in here, right? So something like that, right? Where we hold this low, because honestly it looks like a bear flag. So this trend line right here, I want to see it broken, come back down, right? And then it can either turn into a larger correction or it can make a retracement, then come down and take the low out, which would essentially hopefully finish up this wave here. Because what we have is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. So looks like a WXY potentially, right? Something like that. We still have this up move, right? And then we have this correction back down. So, but this move here doesn't look sustainable. It looks like it needs to come back down here. So yesterday I've been talking about, we want to see, or was it the day before? I think it was yesterday, basically saying, look, this thing does not look finished in here. I mean, this wave that took out this low, it just looks like it needs to finish. I mean, it could be finished. This is not financial advice. I could be wrong, but it still looks like it needs some downside. When I look at the price of theta, we have some bullish divergence working here, right? We can see this move down and this move back up, which basically means the price is diverting from the relative strength, right? RSI stands for Relative Strength Index, basically explaining, it's an oscillator. It oscillates to the upside, oscillates to the downside. It lets you know sort of the relative strength, right? But it's kind of like a contrarian indicator, because when the RSI is way up here, that means it's strong, but that doesn't mean you should buy. You kind of want to buy when it's weak, right? When it's oversold. So it's kind of a contrarian oscillator, but pretty good nonetheless. What I like about theta is theta looks almost complete because it has a better three-wave shape, right? Bitcoin, it went like this and then it did this. But theta has a nice, more symmetrical shape. This wave, right, lining up with this wave. It's, it looks cleaner to me. And then also theta is retesting the bull market support band. So if I just extend this out a little bit right about there, you can see we are currently testing and holding above the bull market support band, which is good. Look at that. If I draw a line right here, and it's not perfect, but you can see, right, we're pretty much holding above right here. So but we do have two lines, right? We have the green and the red. So if we fail to hold above the green, we still have the red down in here. So I want to see this low hold and, you know, the price to finish out here. Because I think, you know, it would be nice to have one more hit to the low somewhere down in here, which would be about $1.95 area, right? Just in the small time frame, right? Again, you can be, just because you're bullish overall doesn't mean, right? Bullish and bearish has to be defined by time, right? I'm bullish, macro, long term, right? Even in the immediate term, within the next year, even the next 6 months, I'm bullish. Now on the smaller time frames, like in the next days and weeks, I'm basically weeks, I'm kind of neutral, and then the following days, I'm still bearish, right? Until we can break above $2.50, $2.35 to $2.50. So as soon as theta can break that and break that, then I'm going to start getting more bullish. But until then, we're just basically consolidating. You can see we have lower highs and higher lows, which means the demand line is increasing, but the supply line is also decreasing, right? So you have a demand that's increasing, and you also have, or I should say, increasing. So the supply is increasing, right? Why is it increasing? Because the price is going down. So the supply is increasing, but the demand is also increasing. So when the demand line and the supply line converge, right? They're converging, then you get into the apex. So then it becomes a question, okay, who wins? Does the demand overtake the decreasing or the increasing supply, right? Or does the supply supersede the demand? It kind of looks like a triangle, right? You could say A, B, C, D, and E, and then we come down, take out the low, and then you finish that fourth wave. That's one way you can count it, right? And essentially what that would be is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So some type of diagonal, right? If it's a 5-wave move to the downside, right? If it's not, if it's that wave 1, then we can get a wave 2, and then a big wave 3, and then that would be terrible, right? I mean, that would basically, I mean, not terrible, but we would essentially be coming down to back test the breakout level. So the breakout level was between $1.30 to $1.40. So if we come down, right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we come up A, B, C, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that whole thing would be a big A, B, C, and then we can back test and be on our way. And that would look like a very, 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 very bullish 1, 2, 1, 2, right? Hopefully we don't have to go through all of that mess in there. So to me, like, if we're gonna come down, right? If this is a triangle in here, let me zoom in again. If this is a triangle, and we're gonna come down to that $1.40 area, right? Somewhere in there. Actually, let me get it right on the money so there's no confusion here. So right there, about $1.28, $1.30, $1.40 area. If that's a triangle, instead of doing a zigzag. I'm just hoping this is an ABC, right? We come down here and we get it finished, right? So essentially, we get down here either ABC or diagonal, right? And then meet that target and then be on our way, because that would be very, very impulsive, and it would remind me a lot of this, just bigger, right? Where we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see what I mean? We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It was a pretty big wave for the proportion of this move here. So this move here, in proportion of this move here, it would make sense that we would come down. Now, are we going to come down? I'm not saying that's the case. What I'm saying is if we lose this low, then that would be the case. But if we lose the low and we do come down here and we do bounce off with a vengeance, right? Because remember, the market moves in 5s and 3s. If we get down here, I really, really am confident we will go. The question about the go, right, the blast off here is what happens when we get into the retracement levels from this move here down to here, right? Because you're going to start hitting these Fibonacci retracement levels. That is going to be the big test for theta holders. And it all is, of course, dependent on Bitcoin. So that's one idea. The other idea is to say that this right here is some type of, another thing. A lot of triangles occur in fourth waves, right? So this is wave 1, 2, 3, 4. Oftentimes triangles are in wave 4s. You could say the triangle is just getting started, A, B, C, D, E, and then we can break to the upside, right? That would be okay. And that would actually be bullish. And that's sort of what I would like to see happen. And that would match up with the total 3 fractal that's right here, right? Where you basically have this, move down, move back up, move back down, basically just, going sideways in here. So, that's the total 3 fractal, and that is the bullish case, and that's what I would like to see, is just continue to consolidate above the bull market support band in here. And by the way, hit this like button. It really helps out. And then also leave a comment and let me know what you guys think. Did you guys get to catch the Northern Lights? This is a picture that was sent from my mom. By the way, happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Here's another picture. No, the other one I think was from my sister. This one's from my mom. This was a good picture here. Let me know if you guys seen any pictures. So what I did for Mother's Day is I took the picture, right? And then I like to make cheesy cards like Shakespearean, like the Roman times, and kind of have fun with it. And basically saying, the gods themselves reign a spectacle of beauty, all for the love of thy mother. And maybe that's what happened. Maybe God said, you know what? This Mother's Day, I'm going to put a spectacle for all the world to see and celebration for all of the mothers out there. Maybe, maybe not. Or we can just say, you know what? It's probably just science. There's that too. Now, since we got those Northern Lights, maybe we can get another Mother's Day gift with a big, big pump. But it's very, very, very unlikely. So the expression goes, sell in May and go away. But we are simply just consolidating. Looking at Theta Fuel, it's still very bullish, right? These things can take time, right? These things can take a lot of time in here. But essentially, it looks to me like we have a 1, 2, back test the bull market support band, then we have another 1, 2, right? And then this is most likely a running flat where you have an A, B, and then a C. And now this is a 1, 2, right? Maybe the 1, 2 has an A, B, C, and we come back down one more time, right? I mean, as long as we stay above this low, and as long as we back test the bull market support band, right? If we do, that's very, very bullish. So it has plenty of wiggle room. So right now, the bull market support band is at 0.0786. So let's see, where from a measurement perspective, from where we are now down to that level is about 22%. That's quite a bit of room there, 22%. Now there's a couple examples here. I should be on a smaller time frame, but essentially, like, you have one right here where you have this channel, right? It was a running flat, A, B, C, and then we had a 1, 2, right? So that's kind of where we are with Theta Fuel. We had a nice pump to the upside, right? And it's sort of a lead-in phase. So a lot of the coins, they all came all the way back down, here, right? And a big ABC. But Theta Fuel is basically angled upside, right? Now you could say that's bearish, and a lot of times it looks bearish, but it's a lot of times it's a lead-in phase to a bigger cycle. Now, if this was coming in at the top of a big wave, then you can say it's bearish, right? Or if it's coming, down from a bottoming wave, like if the wave, for example, was coming down like this, and then it started going into a channel, that looks like more downside. So boom, boom, boom. But if you're hauling butt up here, and then we start to do that, it looks good. Another good example of Theta Fuel is right here, where basically you had the 1, 2, just exactly the same like Theta. You had this 1, 2, you came back up, and then you developed this running flat where you had an A, B, C, right? And then another 1, 2. So, I mean, look at this. We have an A, B, C running flat, and then we have a 1, 2 in the formation of an ascending channel. So now look at Theta Fuel. You have a 1, 2, right? Coming back up. We have an A, B, C in the form of a running flat, and then we have a 1, 2, right? All in the form of this ascending channel, right? Right off the bull market support band. So that's kind of what I'm comparing it to. So according to the fractal, what we should see here is this move finish up, right? Maybe it's an ABC. Maybe we come all the way back down here. Whatever it is, I mean, it's still very bullish. It's just a small time frame. We could have some more downside to go. Actually, I'll do this. Watch this. I'll put a Fibonacci up here. I'll take it from this wave all the way down to this wave, and then I'll drag it right back up here. And we could see, a 1-to-1 extension, but I don't think that's the pace. I think that's too deep, right? I think that would be a little bit too deep. If this is an impulse wave, you can see a 1-to-1, but I'm more thinking around the 786 to the 618. So somewhere right in there, between 0.80 and 0.08. Let's see, 0.080 and 0.088. Right about there. So yeah, and it would have a nice 3-wave shape. It would confuse people because it does look a little chaotic, but it actually, if you can look closely, it's very bullish. Now, when you compare that to something like XRP, I mean, there's no comparing, right? I mean, it looks terrible. I mean, compared to what Theta has done. Basically, what Theta Fuel did was come up here, It had a 1-2, and then it took off, and then it pulled back, but in the form of an ascending channel up here. So, we're way down here. We'll see if we can. I still like it because we're in a range. But yeah, we'll see if that continues. I mean, if the whole market goes, XRP is going to go as well. But the question is time. So going back to Theta real quick, yeah, it's actually looking very good. This would actually be a nice spot for dollar cost averaging for me. Because look at this. Oh, let me put the sequential on. Oh, wait a minute. I got to go. Okay, so on the 8-hour chart, we're about to get a 9, which is good. And on the 4-hour chart, we already have a 9. And we're basically, there's our 9 right there on the 4-hour. And we're basically correcting under these red dots. So once the 9 gets activated, if it gets activated, right, we could have an A, B, C, maybe break up a little bit. But again, I want to see, if put it this way, if we move up fast, we're mostly going to come back down. But if we start to trend sideways here a little bit, then we can have a better shot at breaking these highs, right? So that's kind of where we are. And then I've already talked about the possibility of a triangle, something like this, right? And when I say triangle, I mean, an Elliott wave triangle. Not just the shape of a triangle, but an actual Elliott wave triangle. So if I take the measured move, right, I take it from the top of the triangle and I put it right about down here, we can see a rough estimation about $1.45, and that's exactly lines up with this support. So that number is of interest for me, right? So it's kind of a wait and see moment. Is the total 3 fractal gonna play out, right? And Bitcoin hold above the bull market support band? We do something like this before accelerating, or is this a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? We got to finish down here with a very, very mega bullish, right? With a 1, 2, 1, 2 back test, which would be very bullish, or is it going to be even more brutal and be an A, B, and then a C later on? That's still up for debate. I'm hoping, let's just go right now and we don't have to worry about it. But if we do come down, it will kill a lot of time, which maybe that's what the market needs. But, going back to Bitcoin very quickly, it's all about what happens in here. Because technically, I mean, look at the daily chart. We have a 9, right? We have a 9 buy off the bull market support band, right? So number one, we have an A, B, C on a daily 9 buy on the bull market support band, and then we have a 1, 2. So as long as this wave 2 doesn't break this low, we're bullish, right? We have an impulse and now we're correcting down. So I want to see this thing break out. It kind of looks like an inverse head and shoulders. That's why I'm leaning bullish, right? So if I had to say anything, I'm probably on the bullish side of things as long as we hold above this. So hopefully that helped. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section. This is a Theta Fuel, Theta Mother's Day special. Hit that like button. Leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think. Did you guys see the Northern Lights? Is there any coins you want me to take a look at? And yeah, if we do break down on Theta and we do have a 1, 2, 1, 2, right? So it's kind of like, if we go, hey, it's perfect. But if we break down, it's also really, really good, because then it forms that big 1, 2, 1, 2, which means we haven't had the third wave yet, which means we have much more to look forward to. So it's kind of like, we're in a good spot here. And then as far as the small time frame goes on Bitcoin and on Theta, again, I just don't see it finishing here. It could be But the way this came down and the way this is coming up, I mean, yeah, we could get up here, but I just feel like it needs to finish somewhere down in here. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I mean, it's crypto. This thing can just go nuts, right? But at the end of the day, the way this looks, it just kind of looks a little funny. It looks like it needs to finish, right? When you look at theta, though, it actually looks finished. It actually looks like it's finished down here, right? So that's where I'm a little bit, I mean, you can see, number one, I mean, look at this. Look at the price of theta, right? We hit the bull market support band. We came all the way up. We have an A, B, C, and we're on a 9 on the 4-hour on the bull market support band, right? So if I put the Fibonacci up, I mean, look at this here. Let's see where we stalled out at here. Look at that. We hit the almost the 1.414, right? So in between that and the 1, that's a good area right there. So what I want to see for theta is for us to establish a base in here on the bull market support band, let Bitcoin finish out, maybe another hit to the low, but then I want to see us starting to curve out of here. If we break down, you know, this is a do or die moment. We break out, we're good. We break down, then we're at risk of losing this low. So that's kind of where we are. If I had to guess, I say we break to the upside, right? So let's see what happens. Not financial advice. If we break down, it's fine. It would be technically a triangle, but it would also still be bullish because this would be a 4th wave going into a 5th wave. And then we have one more wave to go, and then we can look for better price action. But until next time, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Cheers.